Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to this special edition of Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Megan Newsham. Thank you for joining us. Tonight we're taking a look at the stories from our sports bureau, from a Tucson native's participation in a famous rugby game to darts.
Former Sun Devil player Tayshaun Cherry will be wearing the black and purple this season, fresh off his transfer to GCU. Reporter Jackson Coppinger went to get a feel for how the forward is transitioning in his new basketball environment.
There's a new lope on campus at GCU, but last year he was hooping across town for Arizona State. Tayshaun Cherry is a 6'8" forward now entering his senior year with the GCU squad fresh off a tournament run last season, and is happy with the change of scenery here.
Everybody's more calm, it's just more relaxed in this environment. I feel like we get better every day, we're working hard, everybody on the team is accepting. So I'm happy to be here and I'm blessed to be here.
Cherry was mostly noted for his marksmanship from three back at Arizona State. He dropped 55 threes for the Devils in his first couple seasons there. The offense might be different here at GCU, but Coach Bryce Drew says the three ball isn't going anywhere for Cherry.
I really liked his ability to shoot the basketball. It's hard to find a lot of players at his size, 6'8", that can step out and shoot it like a guard. So that was the initial thing that really stood out to us.
Cherry wasn't the only former Devil to transfer to GCU, though. Point guard Holland Woods committed to the Lopes this summer as well, and he knows that number 35's energy will have a big impact on the program.
He can lift the room, so his presence is felt all the time, and a lot of guys don't have that. A lot of guys can't bring that to the table, so to have someone that can do something like that, like all the time, is unmatched.
If one thing is for sure, that energy will be present when GCU pays Arizona State a visit in December. A rematch from last year's 1-point victory by ASU in GCU Arena. Cherry knows the importance of that game, but is also more than confident with this Lope squad against any of the big opponents in the power conferences.
I think we're up there with everybody else. I think you gotta lace them up just like we do, so I think we can come out and beat anybody in the country. So I'm confident in our team, and I think Coach Drew is too.
And we like where we are right now. We just need to keep improving the program, improving our roster, and keep trying to elevate, to higher levels.
Which means making it back to the big dance. Making it past the first round would just be the cherry on top. In Phoenix, Jackson Coppinger, Cronkite News.
The 7-0 Cactus High School football team in Glendale seems destined for the Open Division playoff. But as Cronkite News reporter Evan Osherwitz shows us, there is more to the Cobras' impressive run than a simple desire to win.
Glendale Cactus is one of the best teams in 4A, but the Cobras are playing for more than just preserving their undefeated record. JV linebacker Jacob Duran suffered a brain bleed in a game against Sunrise Mountain, and the team is looking to honor him with a second straight section title.
At the end of the game, he just started to get really dizzy, and he got the ambulance called, and then come to find out he had brain damage.
At the end of the day, we're a family, so we just want to make sure that everyone's safe and healthy and happy, and when there's nothing you can do to control that, and it was just kind of a freak thing that, it tears you up. It's hard to deal with.
Duran is now out of the hospital, but his teammates continue to provide assistance to his grandmother and 6 siblings while he recovers from his injury.
We made a link for him, donate money, donate food. The grandma was giving us updates throughout the whole thing. We made him posters. We took videos after our game for him. We did all that.
Duran's long road to recovery is just beginning, but his teammates and coaches will be with him at every step.
We genuinely care about him, but we also have a job to do on the football field. But just that bringing the jersey out and we talk about it, just know that we're always thinking about him and caring about him, and that we're trying to show out for him every Friday night.
In Glendale, Evan Osherwitz, Cronkite News.
Sports staples in the United States include football and baseball, while in Europe, soccer and darts are popular pastimes. Cronkite News reporter Ashlyn Register has more on how the local World Cup dart player and his partner are trying to bring the European passion of darts to their home country.
Tucked in the back of a shopping plaza in Gilbert sits Jester's Billiards.
We have a lot of pool tables, a lot of dart boards, foosball tables, full service bar.
It is also home to and a sponsor of one of America's top dart players, Chuck Pulio. Pulio has competed in 1 World Championship, 3 World Cups, and is a multiple CDC Tour winner. but darts was not the path he ever thought he would take in life.
Naturally, reality in life happens, and you have to start working, and none of the sports naturally, we can go pro in.
Darts has taken him all over the world, from Arizona, Tampa, Philadelphia, and even all the way across the Atlantic Ocean to Germany to compete in the World Cup. The biggest difference competing overseas is the passion fans have for darts.
So that's the beauty over in Europe. You have walkout songs. Over here, we don't do that. It's different. So no crowds. It's in a room like this, so the sounds just reverberate off the walls and just lift you up.
Dart tournaments in Europe are an event with everyone drinking, having fun, and even dressing up.
You don't realize you're entertaining them. That's why you're there. So you just do it. You have fun with them.
Julio's partner, Danny Lauby Jr., wants to bring the love of darts and the fans' passion from Europe back to the United States.
In the UK, Europe, they have like dart clubs, and they can just throw darts after school, and it's like a cool thing you grow up doing. And I tell my friends I play darts, they don't know what I'm talking about.
But until the passion of darts hits America, Julio will continue improving his own in the back of jesters. In Gilbert, Ashland Register, Cronkite News.
Julio is currently the 4th-ranked dart thrower in the U.S. The next tournament is the CDC Tour Finals Championship, the Continental Cup. That will take place in New York on November 20th. The winner will qualify for the 2022 William Hill PDC World Darts Championship. After 3 years, Colin Nelson finally made it on the varsity baseball team at Centennial High School. Then, one day during his senior year, he found out he was diagnosed with leukemia. Cronkite News reporter Zachary Larson went to Centennial to see how he managed to recover and find a new home as a coach.
For Colin Nelson. He lives and breathes the sport every day. But in June of 2020, everything would change for him and his family when they learned he had leukemia.
I can still vividly remember the moment that they said it. I don't remember what I said. It was just the hardest thing we've ever had to go through.
The unexpected journey would lead to months of trips to the doctors for chemo treatments while he was in school. After making the varsity team, they made sure there was a spot when he came back.
From the very beginning, they just 100% support, and just that also was a big thing. When they found out about it, they said, just get back, you'll have a spot back when you get back.
That's what's his goal, is to be able to be on the baseball team. I think without baseball, I don't think he would be where he is today.
Once he graduated, the next step was finding something to do during the summer. After offering to help out the team, he was asked to stay on as an assistant coach.
Hi, Sir Colin.
I think the timing for Colin, it was perfect. He was the perfect kid to come in. I don't think very many kids could come in and do what he did.
The impact Colin makes on the field now is even more important than when he played, as he tries to get his players to understand the Coyote culture.
It's just teaching more of the younger kids that are getting into the program just what this program's all about, and just helping them out with that and buying into what we're doing here.
Coach Williams, Coach Gahan have put him in those situations, and because I think they truly know that he can handle and he knows what he's doing.
For now, coaching baseball is where his passion lies, as he's expected to receive his final treatment in October of 2022. In Peoria, Zachary Larson, Cronkite News.
Elijah Badger went from prized recruit to watching from the sidelines. Now this ASU receiver is getting his shot to become a major weapon in the Sun Devil offense. Cronkite News reporter Chaz Messman has more on Herm Edwards' new option.
It's been a long road to finally making it on the field for Arizona State wide receiver Elijah Badger. He missed all of last season due to academic ineligibility and missed the start of the 2021 season due to injury. But now, the redshirt freshman is finally getting an opportunity to show what he can do.
You know, we love Elijah. We think that he's made strides with his transition from off the field things to, you know, understanding how important it is to, you know, to pair the two together, and then, you know, just his time management deal.
I've been working lately. Just been trying to get on the field, learn the playbook.
And I feel like it's hard as a receiver, period, because it's more plays that you got to learn, and it's not just your position, really, you have to learn.
When the former 4-star recruit has been on the field for the Sun Devils, he's made a major impact, scoring 2 touchdowns on only 5 touches.
It's a fun, easy game for him, right now, and it's cool to see. It's cool to see as a coach, because the talent, whether it's his hands, whether it's just his route running ability or just playmaking ability, and it's tough to teach.
On his first ever collegiate touch, Badger scored a touchdown against Colorado, and despite his humility, it was a moment he will remember for the rest of his life.
It was blessed, really. I was just watching everybody on the sideline. I wasn't really sad for myself, but I knew I had to get back and do what I had to do.
As the season moves along, Badger is expected to get more involved in Zach Hill's offense, and he's definitely one to watch out for in the next couple of seasons. In Tempe, Chaz Messman, Cronkite News.
Suns have been off to a shaky start this season and now are the subject of hefty allegations and an ongoing investigation. Cronkite News reporter Jaden Sormani has more on how players and fans feel about the controversy surrounding Robert Sarver.
Reaction came swiftly after ESPN writer Baxter Holmes released an article alleging 17-year Suns owner Robert Sarver has a history of misogyny and racism. The article dropped mere hours before the Suns took on the Houston Rockets at the Footprint Center. Members of the team were shocked by these allegations.
I wasn't aware of the situation, and my 7 years I've been here, I haven't noticed that, but that doesn't, make me insensitive to the subject. And, I think the NBA open investigation, they're going to do their due diligence of, bringing out facts instead of he said, she said.
It's not about what everybody else saying or what everybody else telling you to do or what you should do. It's about how we feel as a team, as a unit, coaching staff, everybody within the organization.
Players, coaches, and fans alike were experiencing mixed emotions prior to Thursday night's matchup against the Houston Rockets. Many claiming that they are showing support for the team, not necessarily Robert Sarver.
I'm leaning more towards the side of believing that it's true, but I also just kind of want to wait until more information comes out. I do want to kind of, give him a chance because as we all know, we weren't there.
I thought it was crazy, man. I don't know why ESPN is saying these allegations when there's no proof about it, but truth's gonna come out. It's not us fans to decide about it.
Coach Monty Williams said after the game how proud he was of the team to unite among the controversy and get a much-needed win. The NBA has since launched an investigation into Robert Sarver and the Suns organization. In Phoenix, Jaden Sormani, Cronkite News.
Tucson native Ryan Matias took his love of rugby to an international stage last weekend in Washington, D.C., playing for the U.S. national team in the inaugural 1874 Cup against New Zealand's famed All Blacks. The final score wasn't close, but fans did not leave disappointed, as Cronkite News reporter Simon Williams tells us from our Washington bureau.
Around 40,000 people came to the home of the NFL's Washington football team to see the best ruggers in the U.S. play the best in the world, and the top-ranked All Blacks lived up to the hype, trouncing the USA Eagles 104-14 on Saturday. U.S. Eagle Ryan Matias knew it would be tough going in.
One of our coaches says, you can't cover every blade of grass. You can't. Something's got to be open. So, and they're very good at identifying and communicating where that space is and attacking it.
The former University of Arizona standout started the second half with a score. It was just the second Eagles try against the All Blacks in the history of the matchup. Fans from around the globe looked past the lopsided score to enjoy the festive environment. Andrea Davenport of Mesa, who came with club rugby teammates, got into the Halloween spirit and dressed as Mario characters.
What's this all about? They see the fun in rugby and maybe they want to get their kids involved. Maybe they want to, and then we give back in that same token. So it's just about getting the general public involved and loving the game.
But the day was especially meaningful for Ryan's dad, who got to see him suit up against the mighty All Blacks.
New Zealand is the pinnacle. Where do you go from here on this planet when you're playing rugby and play against the All Blacks?
The match ends the U.S. international season. But if you're around Tucson, you might see Matias working with the Tucson Rugby Club. In Landover, Simon Williams, Cronkite News.
Organizers of the 1874 Cup hope it spurs U.S. interest in the game and in Major League Rugby, but they also hope it helps the U.S. land the Men's Rugby World Cup in 2027 or 2031, or the Women's in 2029. And they say Glendale is one of the cities that could be in their bid.
The Coyotes celebrated Hispanic Heritage Month by providing free skating lessons to Spanish-speaking kids who have never been on the ice before. Cronkite News reporter Evan Osherwitz looks into how this Learn to Skate program is helping the Coyotes market hockey to the Hispanic community.
In honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, the Coyotes are holding a series of Spanish-language skating clinics at AZ Ice in Peoria. The program, called Los Jaulitos, serves kids from boys and girls clubs across the valley and is part of the team's larger initiative to build support in the Hispanic community.
We are finding those young men and women that will want to play, will want to go home, tell their parents, you know, that was a lot of fun. I enjoy it, I like it, and let's go down and see if it's something that I want to pursue.
It's a great sport. I think everyone should get a chance. And for us to be able to have an opportunity to kind of reach into the Hispanic community a little bit and give them something that I think is so special, I think it's huge for us.
Los Jaulitos is the brainchild of Coyotes Hispanic Hockey Development Coordinator Jonah Rodriguez, who says many Hispanic children never get the chance to try hockey because of the cost of equipment and ice time. Rodriguez wants Los Jaulitos to allow them to get more familiar with the sport.
My big thing is just exposing as many kids as we can, and you know, if we get a few that want to play, then that's great, and if we don't, then that's okay too, as long as maybe they'll start following the sport, or they'll start following the Coyotes.
Once enough kids pass through the program, Rodriguez plans to hold more clinics that emphasize hockey fundamentals and skill development. But he says they aren't quite there yet.
We're kind of just starting with skating for now, and we're trying to see if we get enough interest. And once we do, like if we get enough of the kids that are really interested in the program, then yeah, we'll definitely transition into like more of a little howlers kind of thing where it's a learn to play more than like a learn to skate.
It may take time for Los Jaulitos to evolve into a full-blown learn to play program, but the Coyotes' effort to build a grassroots fan base in the Hispanic community seems to be off to a good start. In Peoria, Evan Osherwitz, Cronkite News.
That's it for this special edition of Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. Break It Down is next.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. Thanks to PBS Passport, you can watch all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today.
Break It Down is brought to you in part by Mayo Clinic and viewers like you.
Hey, Ebony, thank you for breaking down being a Black millennial. So let's first define what is a millennial. So what's a millennial?
So, you know, people are constantly giving us all these kinds of names, right? We're millennial, we're Gen Y, we're Generation Me, we're the digital age, all of those things. But you know what millennial is? Let me set the record straight. People from the age of 25 to almost 40. Like, millennials are in their 30s. And the one thing that really gets me about people when they talk about millennial is anybody who's just like young, right? They're just really young. They're in their teenage years. They're all carefree. But we are coming into our 30s. I mean, millennials are in their 30s. So that's the first thing we got to say.
Well, just to clarify, millennials were born between 1981 and 1986. It's a birth cohort, like Gen X, boomers, silent generation, etc. So yes, millennials are as old as 40 and as young as 25.
And we're happy about that too.
You're also the most racially, ethnically diverse. So I was curious about millennials. I didn't know a lot about your birth cohort. I'm a Gen Xer, if anybody's confused. And you all are 40% non-white. You're also the most educated. 40% of millennials have a college degree, which is higher than the average in this country. So you're the most diverse, most educated.
Give it up, right? I think that's a lot to deal with the culture, you know. I want to say that boomers and Generation Xers, y'all kind of paved the way. And as millennials step into their own, we go into a world that's global thinking. You know, we're one big family around here. So I think as the stereotypes of, you know, dating outside of your race break down, of intermingling break down, as, you know, schools became more and more integrated and neighborhoods became more and more integrated, then of course, then you get a diverse generation,
right?
Multicultural, yeah.
So tell me, what do you think is the difference between being a Black millennial versus an Asian millennial or a white millennial or a Latinx millennial?
I think one of the differences, like, you know, the participation stereotype. You know, you hear all the time about millennials. Oh, you guys just got a trophy for everything. You got a trophy for showing up. You got a trophy if you were in the 8th place. You just got a trophy. But I know as a Black millennial, in my house, we just didn't get a trophy for everything. My mom was strict. She wanted us to understand the value of winning and losing. So I might have came home with a trophy, but if it wasn't 1st place, 2nd place, 3rd place, she chunked that thing out the door. I mean, she was like, and we would sit down and she would teach me, this is what it takes to be a winner. This is what it takes to achieve and be successful. I think a lot of it is that thought about being lazy. I come from a huge family. I'm the oldest of 8 siblings. And so when I was growing up, you know, I didn't get allowances. You know, I didn't get to just sit and chill while my mom cleaned my room and did the dishes. I was right there helping my brothers and sisters, cooking at a young age, cleaning at a young age. I mean, my mom would not let me sit idle. And I think that's one of the biggest differences I have seen from my white cohorts, not all of them, from my Hispanic and Latinx, that sometimes it can, you know, at least from my white cohorts, that sometimes that lazy stereotype might be a thing. But I know in my household, you know, was lying. And a lot of my Hispanic brothers and sisters are the same way. They were gigging it and kicking and working right at a young age.
So now, what do you think is the difference? Again, I'm a Gen Xer, Black Gen Xer. What do you think is the difference between Black Gen Xers and Black millennials?
I think the difference is like where my mom will stay on a job for 30 years, for 25 years, you know, and really try to work the system. As a Black millennial, I won't, you know, and as a millennial period, and that's a negative stereotypes that millennials get, is that, oh, we just leave when things get tough. No, I think we take advantage of the job market. We understand that in these days, you know, companies they're just not as loyal to their employees as they used to be.
And the jobs that people have are very different too.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things about millennials, we're born to take action. We believe that we can affect change. We believe that the government can be a vehicle to affect powerful change. And so I think that what we're doing is we're trying to work and break down the system and work within the system to evoke that change. What do you think is the biggest difference between an Xer and a millennial?
Beyond the naivete about racism?
Yeah, beyond that.
Okay.
No,
because I think that talk more about that. A lot. I think there are some boundaries. I noticed that my students share a lot in my classes, and maybe they feel comfortable in my classes. You know, I try to create an environment. I don't tolerate hostility or any of that, and I make that known on the first day. But I do think my students share a lot of information that I know I probably would not have shared when I was in college, like not in a psychology class or anything like that. So there may be some looser boundaries there. And I think that's also social media. You know, we see people sharing on social media. So I think that is something I've also noticed, sharing information that I might not share in class or even on social media. I think that filter is probably a little bit lower now. That's another difference that I have observed. But again, it could be that they feel comfortable because it's my class and who I am. But some of the information, I'm like, really? Oh, I don't know if I would have shared that. So I think there's some filter boundary differences as well. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think it's just an observation from my vantage point, you know, based on my students and what I say. And that's just not Black Gen Z or millennials. That's all of them, you know, because I have cohorts because I teach at a university. So, you know, they end up in my class. They could be Black, they could be Asian, Latinx, or white. and we're all in there together. So that's definitely something I've noticed across even race, ethnicity, like the sharing, if you will. So
well, I think millennials naturally are big sharers. I mean, remember we grew up in a digital age. You know, I remember Facebook when it first came out. It wasn't the big platform that you see right now with the posting of videos and stuff. It was literally, you had to have a college login. You had to prove that you were in college. And some of our posts was, hey, hit me up. We're in the library, or you want to grab a coffee before this final. And so it was really just to connect us so you can get friends, you can hang out with your sorority sisters, your brothers. Yeah, we are open. We want to be open. We want to be honest. And that's in the workplace, that's at school, that's within our own relationships. And I think our nature to just be honest has then just translated to social media, because that's what we grew up with. You know, other generations grew up with the phone. Some of them grew up with the, what is that? The telegraph. And millennials, we grew up with computers. We grew up with cell phones. And so we communicate that way.
Well, this has been a fun conversation, Ebony. Thank you for helping me break down Black millennials, and let's continue to chat. And also, please chat in the comment box below. But again, thanks for breaking this down with me.
And thank you.
This hour of local news is made possible by contributions from the Friends of PBS, members of your PBS station. Thank you. If you have comments about Arizona PBS News, please contact us at one of the addresses on your screen. Thank you.